It's been more than a year that we have access to some really cool AIs like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Cloud. And there are a lot of new advancements that makes these models to be more user-friendly and easier to use. However, there are some mistakes that people still made when using AI to do something, especially to create content. And honestly, speaking about mistakes, I have a lot of things to say about that. So in this video, I'm going to show you some of my big mistakes when using AI to generate content. And of course, I'll share with you what are the best practices instead. So let's dive right into it. Okay, let's start with a simple story. Let's say you are experiencing pain in one of your teeth and you cannot speak properly, you cannot chew your food, and perhaps you are feeling pain all day long. So you decided to visit a dentist, and the dentist told you that the problem was quite severe and you need the tooth to be removed. But then again, it is expensive and permanent. Feeling unconvinced, you decided to go to another dentist, and they told you that, well, the problem is not that big of a deal and they can treat you without having to get your tooth to be removed. So it's going to be cheaper and you will still have your tooth. But now you have two different options. So you decided to go to another different dentist and they told you that they can treat it without having the tooth to be removed. Now you have two against one and it's becoming easy to pick which one is the best for your case. Now, of course, this is just some analogy and probably not something that you can practice immediately in real life, but the logic is still very important. When it comes to AI, it is always a good idea to try and test different AI models. These days we have ChatGPT, Cloud, Gemini, Mistral, Llama 3, and there are some other open source AI models that you could theoretically run it on your computer. So if you are creating something using AI, make sure to try practically every AI you know so you can compare which one is the best for your case. But it's probably not very economical if you have to subscribe to premium AI models individually. Instead, I highly recommend to use an intermediary platform like u.com, which has, I don't know, dozens of AI models you can try and compare. And there is also another option like Perplexity, which has, I think, 5 to 6 models, and it's also connected to the internet so it can browse the latest information. So to get the best result, make sure to try and test different AI models. Alright, for the next one, it is something that is quite embarrassing, but it is true. So, do you remember that when we got ChatGPT for the first time, a lot of content creators and website owners are kinda happy in a way that now they have a tool that can help them generate a lot of content at a fraction of the price. And there was a general consensus that if you are using AI, the content is going to be unique since you have the ability to specify exactly what we want. However, that is not exactly true. So if you are creating a short article using ChatGPT, for example, and then if you copy the article and then paste it to some plagiarism checker tool, there is a high possibility that some phrases or even some paragraphs may be exactly verbatim plagiarized from other previous work. And some people might be using somewhat similar prompts, and therefore the content that is created is bound to be similar. There are a few solutions to this problem. First, you could make your prompt slightly more specific. Secondly, you could use a third-party tool like Grammarly to test for plagiarism on the content that was generated using AI. Of course, you have to pay extra for it, but if you are using AI to do something very important like academic journal, then I think it is worth it. And there is also another technique to create a more unique and human content using AI for free, which I'm going to explain later in the video. For now, let's move on to the next mistake you should avoid. It is the end of the month and you want to buy some groceries. You want to buy some milk, bread, biscuit, meat, and some veggies. This is not a very long list, so you decided to not write them down and just memorize them. Then you visit the grocery store, you bought some items, and you're coming back home only to realize that some items are missing. You forgot to buy the milk. Well, that's essentially human brain, and we have a limitation about how many things we can remember. And the same is true for AI. If you overwhelm the AI with a prompt that is very long, some of the details might be diluted in the process, and therefore the response might not exactly what you want. Some details may be missing. This is because AI has a limitation on the number of tokens it can process. Essentially, it's just how many words you could put into the prompt. While many AI companies telling you that it has thousands of prompts or thousands of words you could input as a prompt, there is a sweet spot. It's better to just keep it short and concise, even though you have plenty of room, but it is always better to keep everything short so you will get a more accurate result. But this poses a problem. If you want to get a response that is specific, then you want to make the prompt to be specific as well, which means it's going to be longer. But if you make the prompt to be much longer, then the AI might not remember all the details from the prompt. So this is quite a challenging problem. The solution is to make the prompt to be efficient and not redundant. For example, I saw many content creators putting the keyword SEO friendly when creating a prompt to generate an SEO friendly article, but then in the prompt they also mentioned something like, please use the correct heading tags like H1, H2, and H3, which is essentially just part of SEO friendly, so you don't have to explain that again. AI will understand what you mean by SEO friendly, so there is no need to explain all the details about SEO articles. Another option is to ask AI to optimize your prompt so it's going to be shorter while still delivering the same message. Okay, for the last one, I want you to see this chart. This is the usage of the word delve. Initially, it used very little, and then the usage of the word delve exploded in 2023. I wonder what happened in that year. Well, if you have been using ChatGPT, you know how this AI loves certain cliché words that unfortunately make the content sound less human. You might stumble upon words like tapestry, delve, uncovering, unleashing, or mastering. They are not the kind of words that we use very often, especially in our daily conversation. If you want to make the content sound more human, you must omit these words from the response. You don't have to manually type them because you can click the link in the video description to copy and paste it to your prompt. This list is just a tip of the iceberg because I have analyzed and found more than 200 phrases and words that you should filter if you want to create content that is more engaging and sound more human. By adding this list into the prompt, the content that it generates is going to be more unique since it's essentially forcing the AI to be more creative with the wording. So if you want to save your time and produce better content, you can get this handbook by clicking the link in the video description. And just for my channel's viewers, you can use this code to get 50% discount for this handbook. So go and check out the link, and if you want to know more about bad practices that you should avoid when using AI, well, watch this video and I'll see you there.